who is, I think, right now in the US, in Utah. It's early in the morning for you, Rob. And yeah, Rob is someone, and this is what I really, really love. He is not a coach like, yeah, you know, you have many coaches, they have never done the practicing, they were never in this industry, they became only coaches. So, and this is not this what I want, what I like. Rob is someone who had a lot of success in this industry. So that means he knows exactly what he is talking about. He knows exactly how to build a business. He knows exactly how to duplicate the business. He is a best-selling author. He is, I think, top 3 coach in the world for network marketing. And he is on, I think, most of the events with Eric Worre together. So that means, I think, if you had never the chance to talk to Rob or never the chance to meet Rob, then it's finally here. And I'm really, really proud that Rob is here. And Rob is, yeah, doing with us the first hour together. So that means very important. We have 2 sessions, 1 session today. We have a second session on the 10th of May as well with Rob and with Fraser, so that you get at most as possible knowledge about this, what, yeah, can help you to make you successful. Christian, I don't want to talk too much. Any ideas from your side? Say hello to everyone.
Hello, everyone. No, I'm very, very happy to be on this call as well, together with those legends here. And I think, no, I don't think, rephrase, I know that we're going to provide some awesome content for you today, as I call it, to grow your business bigger and better. And that's the purpose why you're on this call, right? Otherwise, you could do something else in this evening or morning or whatever time zone you are in. And I was lucky enough to be with Rob about 2 months ago, I think, in Dubai on a mastermind with him. And he is literally out of this world. The level of content that he can bring is so, so good. And I'm so very happy that now we can share it with all of you, so that you can benefit for your building your Healy business bigger and better than you already do. So I don't want to take too much time away from Rob. And we're going to do this today in a kind of an interview style with some questions back and forth. And I would just like to ask Carsten, you know, would you have the honor to do the first question, and let's get Rob into the game.
Yeah, of course. And before I start with the first question, Rob, my friend, it's great to see you here. And as I said, you are a good friend of me, a good friend of Christian, and I'm really proud and really happy that you are on the call. Rob, maybe you can say something about yourself at the beginning, your story, where you're from, your story in this network marketing industry. I know that you were very successful, what you have done the last 5, 10, 15 years in the industry as a coach. Maybe we can start with that.
Rob, please unmute yourself.
Here, there we go. Off mute, and excited to be on with you guys. I've only been to Dubai 2 times, and both times I got to hang out with these 2 legends here. The first time I went, I took my son, and his mind is just blown. The kid's almost 16 years old, and these guys take us on a yacht. It was such a great dream builder. I was with several of the other leaders that are on this right now, and so it was so fun. Now, as far as background goes, I like long walks on the sunset, on the beach, hanging out, right? That's like the short version. But if we give you guys a abbreviated version of some of the successes I've had, just understand that I've had a lot more failures. And we call those failures learning lessons, right? Failing forward. So yes, I became the #1 recruiter out of 1 million distributors in a multi-billion-dollar company. I built my business in 40 countries. I have a podcast that's been listened to by 130 countries. And I'm coming out with my 8th book this week. And so I've been able to do it both from the building standpoint and then the coaching standpoint. Prior to the chaos in the world, I spoke in 20 countries in a matter of 4 years. And I'm excited for you guys to hear from my other friend, Fraser, one of my best friends in the entire world. He's just absolutely phenomenal. He's really funny, entertaining, and an incredible trainer. And all of us collectively are going to help you out. Now, throughout that, before we get into the question, just understand this. My first month in network marketing, I actually had a lot of success, which isn't normal. But my 5th month, I made less than $400 for the month, and I worked 80 hours a week. So I've had the highest of highs, but I've also had the lowest of lows, where I remember looking, because back in those days, they would send you your checks. So I remember looking at my check and my wife's like, Rob, is this thing going to work for you? And I remember saying, uh-huh. And in my mind, I'm like, I have no freaking clue if this thing's going to work for me. I put in all these hours of time. I didn't know what I was doing. And I felt like, geez, I'm such a failure. And so we're going to teach you throughout these couple hours on some of the shortcuts, and not shortcuts like you think. The shortcut doesn't mean that it's still not a path that, yeah, there's some things that can be difficult, right? Everything worthwhile is always harder than you think it's going to be. We're going to simplify it and teach you the right path to help shave off years of failing forward lessons that I went through and all these other legends went through. So I'm just excited to be on, honored that you guys asked me to be on. It's been fun becoming really close friends with such legends like you guys. Even though I'm teaching, I'm also learning so much from these guys. And let's get right into it, boys.
Yeah, fantastic, Rob. Fantastic, Rob. And yeah, I think one of the most important questions is, and I think this is as well from my experience. Yeah, when I started in the industry, 2002. Yeah, I can remember my first presentation. It was around 14, 15 overhead slides, something like that. We are not talking about a PowerPoint presentation. It was still overhead slides. Yeah, so that means I'm a dinosaur here, very old school when I started in the industry, and it was a very easy presentation. Yeah, it was a product, it was a company, it was a vision, it was a philosophy, it was a compensation plan, and how you duplicate the business. That's it. When I left the company 4 years later, I think my presentation was 86 slides, and I was an expert on the product. So that means I had so much knowledge about the product, and at the end of the day, I found out for me it was not duplicatable. I had many people in the room, so they were listening to me about the product, what the product can do. They came later to me, they asked me, oh, I have this, I have that, I have this, I have that. Is the product helpful for me? Whatever. So, but I had no one in the room who asked me, okay, how is the business working? Because they were afraid to build a business. So, and I think this is what I see many, many times, that people want to become experts on the product instead of, let's say, make the things easy and understandable and duplicatable. And that's why my question, Rob, to you is, where should a network marketer spend most of the time to become successful? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think when we first start out, our energy level is here because we're so excited. We're thinking about all the dreams and the possibilities and what can happen. And our knowledge level is down here. And all of a sudden, somebody rejects you and somebody says no to you, right? Friends and family maybe reject you, or somebody quits your business. And so what happens is your energy level goes like this. Just pretend like these are really good sound effects, people. Goes down, right? And so what do? You're like, oh, I got to learn more. I got to learn about all the pending patents and, how special, and because your products are absolutely phenomenal, right? You could do science. So what happens? Your energy goes down. So now your knowledge increases. And then it happens again. And somebody quits or somebody rejects you. So eventually you shift to now where your knowledge is up here and your energy is down here. And you wonder why you're not having success. But Christian, I know so much more than I used to know. What's wrong? How come we're not having success? Knowledge doesn't ever compensate for energy. Knowledge never compensates for energy. Knowledge is only to help increase your energy. Because if your energy isn't high, it doesn't matter. You can't give it all that crazy information. So to answer the question of where you should focus the most amount of your time is, so many of you are so good as far as product users, and I love that in the science, but you need to spend 80+% of your time talking to brand new people, inviting people to look at your business, inviting people to look at your products. Now, if it's only just products, that's okay if that's where you feel more comfortable to lead, but you can't just do that. You also need to understand there's a business to this, and if they love the products, of course, they're going to love the business as well, because when people love stuff, they're going to share it with other people. But we make it too complicated. Think about this, Carsten and Christian. Have you ever been to a restaurant before that it's your first time going and you invite friends and family? Everyone's like, well, yeah. What about the movies? Yeah. Did you have to go see the movie first before you invited people? No, that's what we do in network marketing. We feel like we've got to give them all the science behind the science behind the science. And we think we're giving them reasons to do this business. But in reality, as Carson did this at the beginning, and guess what? I did it as well. It was because I was trying to fill my insecurities as my energy went down with more knowledge. And so I was giving them the plan for the plan of the plan, the science behind the science behind the science behind the science, instead of keeping it stupid simple. That's the KISS strategy. Keep it stupid simple. And I had to go back to keeping it really simple and focusing on, you know what? 80% of my time needs to be spent on inviting new people to look at the business and the products, because guess what? What works in this business is what duplicates. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. That's a Leonardo da Vinci quote that Steve Jobs had in his office. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. When you think about things, right, and it doesn't matter if you're religious or not religious, right? Jesus Christ, you know, he's got all these like famous one-liners. It's come follow me. Boom. Drops the mic, walks away, right? If it's modern day. Why? Because there's power in brevity. But when we become more insecure, we do what Carson did. I know Christian did it once upon a time. I know Fraser did it. I know I did it, right? We start to throw up on people. This is a graphic analogy, and then I'm going to go to the next question here. You have diarrhea of the mouth. I got to make it graphic so that you guys know, right, what I'm talking about. You have diarrhea of the mouth, where it's like you give all these reasons over and over, and they're thinking, well, it sounds really good. But then you're a professional salesperson where, yeah, maybe they sign up for your products, but they're like Carson said, there's no way I can do this business because you just made it way too complicated. You guys have tools. You've got resources, third-party validations. Keep it stupid simple. So I know, Carson, we've both been through this journey and we had to learn the hard way. And so we're just trying to help everybody with accelerating that and simplifying, because successful people really do the basics better. Successful people just do the basics better.
Yeah, absolutely. I cannot agree more. And I think a little bit of where that thought pattern comes from is from the framing that we have. You know, you have to be an expert. You have to know everything about everything. Otherwise, you cannot be a specialist. That's what we got from school, from our parents, from the work that we did. So I guess that's where it's a little bit coming from, but it doesn't help you so much in network marketing. Like you said, dummy it down, KISS, keep it simple and stupid, and that's way more efficient for your business, I guess. Also, what I learned is that network marketing should be fun. It should be, people say you can build it next to a job, which I think is perfectly true. But how do you avoid that you get into overdrive, into a burnout situation? Burnout is maybe a little bit a heavy word, but how do you manage your time well in that case?
Yeah. So I want everyone who's watching the live right now, drop in the comments. There's no shame here. Have you ever been burned out in network marketing? Has anyone ever been burned out in network marketing? Because if you have, yeah, I like that. Like, we got hell yes, heck yes. Like, some of you are just like, oh yeah. If you haven't been burned out in network marketing, you haven't been in it long enough. I got so burned out. Listen to this. I would show up to my own events and accepted an award for being the #1 recruiter out of 1 million distributors. And then I left, and people are like, where are you? I'm like, oh, I'm just outside doing meetings. I didn't tell them I was kind of doing meetings with me, myself, and I, because I was so burnt out. I was so burnt out. I didn't want to be in any Zooms, conference calls, right? This is back in the day before lives. I didn't want to be in anything. I was so burnt out that personal development got to the point where I just did it to keep it going and do it. But it was like, it was like 30 seconds. It was so weak. It was pathetic. So trust me, I've been there, and every single person that's been in this business has been there. So let's give some perspective. That's the key word right there. Let me give you an analogy or story here. Let's say that you're burnout, okay, right this second. Okay, so just imagine, go here with me right now. You're really burnt out. And let's say you sign up somebody named Sam. And Sam signs up, and as Sam signs up, You're totally burnt out. Sam comes into your business, and Sam brings in, let's say, 10 new business builders in the next 5 days. Okay, so go through this scenario with me. I know it's a fake scenario, but just go through it with me. 5 days, 10 people. Do you think you're burnt out still? Just think about that. Your mind has shifted perspectives. Now all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm going to the Maldives. I'm going to be going to Dubai. I'm going to be hanging out, right? Because all of a sudden now your brain is shifted to all the possibilities and dreams and hopes. We're drama kings and queens. When things are going well, we think they're better than they really are. And when things are going poorly, we think they're worse than they really are. This is a perspective that I had to learn in life. I had to learn in sports. I was a semi-professional tennis player. And I learned that. It was this momentum thing we learned just in life, in sports, and in all aspects. And in our network marketing business, it's extreme. So the first thing I want you to understand is when you can understand that, you understand that it's a perspective that you have. When your perspective has changed to a negative perspective because the brain can't maintain both positive and negative thoughts at the same time. So here's some homework for all of you. Anytime you're feeling burnout, what I want you to do is I want you to go on a gratitude binge. What's a gratitude binge? A gratitude blitz. So what does that specifically mean? I want you to spend an entire month writing down every single day 25 things you're grateful for. And 10 of those things, I want them to be pertaining to your Healy business. Why? Because now you're going to start to, well, oh my goodness, like, you know, if I wouldn't have joined this business, I would have never been able to hear Christians sing on Zooms, like, and dance. Like, I would have never been able to live the dream, right? I wouldn't have been able to dream big like I used to. Personal development, right? These relationships and associations that you have. These incredible, phenomenal products, right? I've been exposed to understanding about frequencies. I never knew about them before. Like, start getting your brain to fixate and focus on the things you're grateful for. Start focusing things you're grateful for, even maybe future things. If I'm grateful for, you know, someday I'm going to be able to do this and that. Because again, it's impossible to be grateful and unhappy at the same time. You just can't do it. You can't be grateful and unhappy at the same time. It's impossible. So your brain's going to focus on one or the other. Here's another solution that's going to help you out tremendously. Anytime you have a negative thought, I want you to instantly, whether you put it in your phone or you write it on a piece of paper, right? Even me, if I think of things when these guys are talking, I'm over here just jotting down notes. I want you to write down 3 solutions. So negative thought comes to your mind, oh, this business is never going to happen, right? We're drama kings and queens. It's going to take me like 7 years. I want you to write down 3 solutions right away, right? Don't have to lie to yourself. Don't say, I'm amazing. I'm in momentum. No. You can write down, I'm getting better at sponsoring. I'm learning this. I'm learning that, right? I'm around these positive people. Write down 3 solutions. So anytime your brain has a negative thought, write down 3 solutions, because now you're going to train and retrain your brain to work for you rather than against you. And it's going to become a habit, and it's going to change your entire world. It's going to help you in your personal life and in your business life. And isn't that what this business is so incredible? Yeah, the money, because what the money represents, but it's so incredible what it can do for you and help make all that difference. And so the last thing I'll say on that, as far as burnout goes, wherever you are, be there. It's a Jim Elliott quote. So a lot of you are working 20 hours a week, but you're really not working 20 hours a week. And so you're burning yourself out. So if you've got kids, right, when your kids come home from school, give them some time. Shut off your phone where you're not working at all. If you're going out, maybe you got a loved one, a partner, a spouse, a girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever it is. Great, give them some time. You go out to dinner with them, shut the freaking phone off. Spend some time with them. And then when you work. Don't be doing anything else. Stop trying to multitask, because it burns yourself out, because you're always trying to do everything. And in reality, you're really not doing anything. So I want you to get just hyper focused. I want you to time block. I want you to put it in your calendar. Even if it's in your calendar, if you need to take that 20-minute power nap every single day. whatever it is, right? Lunch is 30 minutes and you're not on your phone, maybe, or maybe you're on your phone just on the scroll patrol having fun, right? But I want you to get hyper focused, and I promise you, it's going to help you out tremendously. So hopefully those are some tips that help you guys out a ton. And again, drop in the comments as you're listening, and we're going to jump to this next question. Because this helps you to learn. The ability to learn how to learn is the greatest ability one can have. So you want to retain some of the things you learn. Yes, take notes and then figure out where you're going to execute. But drop in the comments things that really stand out to you that either are reminders or maybe they're new insights or perspectives.
Thank you very much, Rob. And as I mentioned at the beginning, very important. We have a second session on the 10th of May. And I think everything what we are talking about right now, maybe do some homework. Maybe we will talk about that on the second session as well a little bit, so that you can ask questions and so on. We have as well a raffle. I think maybe Christian will talk a little bit later about that. Very important. So, and Robbie, and when you were talking about burnout, so as well, for myself, I had a burnout. I can say this after I don't know, it was after 17 years in this industry. And after growing business goes down, growing business goes down. I said to my wife, okay, I have to make really a break from this industry because I feel myself like I have a burnout. And then came Healy to me. So I said, okay, I have to start a business. I was so excited about the product and about the opportunity. And immediately I said, let's go. And that's 3 years ago, meanwhile. And I think one of the most important points, if you want to become successful in our industry, is about recruiting people, and maybe as well about the quality of people. So what I see most of the time, the people try to recruit people which, let's say, from the level they are a little bit under them because it seems easy. So, but at the end of the day, the quality in the organization is maybe not the best. So what I teach people is try to recruit people which are maybe a little bit better than you because they have good contacts all over the world. But at the end of the day, it's very important to start with recruiting. And I think there's a something what is very famous in our industry, Bill Britt, I think from Amway. He mentioned something that he said he was talking to, I don't know, 2,000 people, whatever, or over 1,000 people. Then he started to recruit, 400 people. At the end of the day, 10 people brought him this income, this kind of income. And this is what everyone should understand, to recruit, to talk to people. We got paid for recruiting. This is our business. This is our job. And Rob, my question is, how can we increase the sponsoring? How can we become better there? How can we have, maybe better numbers and all the things?
Yeah, I mean, there's some things that are really, really simple as you're talking about right there. And I love how you just said that, how we typically recruit down because we feel comfortable. I mean, if you're on a scale 1 to 10, your leadership's at a 7, of course you want to talk to a 6 because a 6 looks up to you and they're like, oh, like they worship you, right? Because you're amazing. And it's scary to talk to an 8 because you feel a little inferior and you feel like they could reject you because you don't have as much credibility. But I want you to think about this. Stop making yourself the issue. Okay? Can they be better than you? Absolutely. Do you have people that are 10s, like these incredible leaders like Karsten and Christian? Absolutely. So think of it, when you joined Healy, you're like companies merging, where you hide the weaknesses and you accentuate the strengths. And so your lack of credibility, that's okay. Look, you're a team. That's leverage. And so first off, before we go even deeper on this, is I want to challenge all of you to recruit your chicken list. Now, chicken list here in the US is the scary list. We call it like chicken, right? Like you're scared to contact them. So that's what we call it. You can call it whatever you want, your scary list. But I want you to make a list of who are the scariest people for you to contact, the people that you feel like are more successful than you. Why? Because guess what? If they're more successful and they have a higher level of leadership, they get it. They understand leverage. They understand money. They understand these things. So again, you're making yourself the issue when it isn't about you. It's about them. If you want to increase your sponsoring, you've got to do some of the things I already talked about, and then we're going to add to that. So some of the foundational things that we talked about is spend 80% of your time on talking to brand new people. 80% of your time. Okay? 80%. Stop going into management mode. If your teammates aren't putting in front of new people, love them where they're at. It doesn't mean you're abandoning them. It doesn't mean you're rude to them at all. But you got so many incredible Zooms in your Facebook group, right? And all these trainings and resources that you can plug them into. That doesn't take that long. You need to spend your time with putting the people that put you in front of new people. And if they're not putting you in front of new people, again, they've got a system to plug into, and you can still help with plugging them in. It doesn't take that long. But you got to get out of management mode, because how do you get better at inviting, following up, closing, handling objections? It's by actually doing it, talking to new people. I can't become a professional pianist by watching all these YouTube videos, right? It's like, watch YouTube video. I watch Carson. I watch 1,000 hours of YouTube videos. I should be amazing now. You got to actually do it. And as you're doing it, understand that it's like, you guys have heard the analogy, a deck of cards, right? You can't expect every single card to be an ace. There are going to be some that are twos and some that are threes and nines and tens, and right? Some that are pretty good that are jacks. But to get the aces, they're few and far between. And so sometimes people don't like saying it's a numbers game because they feel like it's insensitive. But it is a people game. But part of the people game, to find the right people, it is a numbers game. And I can guarantee you, if you have a personal conversation with Carson and Christian, they will tell you how they had so many people they thought were going to be like the chosen incredible leaders, and they weren't. And they kept going and going and going until they found that person, and eventually find that person. I call that person your battle buddy. And now you got one, and now both of you are looking for the next person. And eventually you find that third person. Do you see how now you got three people looking for the next person? And it becomes a little bit easier, but it all starts with 80% of your time. If you're not spending 80% of your time talking to brand new people, making new invites, then what happens is you're in management mode. And this is going to be some really tough love here. Okay, Carson and Christian told me I could kick you guys in the butt. It's tough love. We talk about our why. Does your why make you cry? So I'm going to reverse this. This is really, really tough love here. I'm not trying to offend anybody. Is your why a lie? Some of you are like, what? You don't know how deep my why is. Okay. If your why is not a lie, let me ask this question. Why are your actions not matching your why if it's so deep, if it's so important to you? Why are you allowing your fears to beat your dreams? So I want you to create that chicken list, the people you're scared to reach out to. And even if all of them say no, you're proving to yourself that you're willing to do whatever it takes. And as you make that list, let's say you got a list of 15 people. I want you to think in your mind before you reach out to them why they should do this. Because your brain's going to naturally think, oh, they're too successful. They're too busy. That's how we think. Oh, that person, they have no credibility. They shouldn't do this. Oh, that person has too much credibility. Oh, that person has no time. Oh, that person has too much time. Like we start rationalizing. I want you to do the opposite. Oh, that person makes a ton of money, and that person's so busy that they probably have people hitting them up every day about money, money, money. So this is perfect. They could plug people into this, and I can help work their business and leverage some of their time. You see how my brain's starting to think why they should do this. And so if you want to sponsor more, you also got to schedule it. If Carson and Christian were to reach out to you right now and they said, okay, can you show me, we say calendar here in the US, most of you guys say diary, okay? Show me your diary. What time today or tomorrow, let's just say tomorrow, are you reaching out to new people? How long are you doing it for? Oh, I don't know. Really? So this business is supposed to help you achieve your why. And the most important thing to achieve your why is reaching out to new people, making new invites, and you have no clue when? So you want to sponsor more people. I know this is very simple, but I find that most people don't even have it in their calendars. And when you say you're going to do it, that's all you do. I don't care if it's 15 minutes, 30 minutes. Some people can only do it for 40 minutes, and then their brains, they have ADD or ADHD, like I have. ADHD stands for a dude has dreams. So I'm like squirrel, all over the place, right? Especially my wife. I know that Christian and Carson are the same way with their wives, but when my wife walks by and she's wearing like some hot Lululemon workout clothes, how do I not look, right? I got ADHD. I'm all over the place, guys. But for me, that's why I got to be like, okay, this is my time. This is all I'm doing as I do it. And then we'll talk about this maybe a little bit later. You create some little goals that go with it as you go, but that's how you're going to get better at it. You guys go and listen to 5 hours of personal development and you make one new contact. It's learn, action, 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 not learn, 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 action. Do that. I promise you. And then the last thing I'll say on that is accountability. Find somebody. There have been 2 different studies that I read. One was 96% more success. Another one was like, I think it was 95% more success when you have a specific accountability appointment. And the other one was accountability partner. We don't have accountability. We're used to being employees where we had to report to a boss. Now you're so excited. It's like Mel Gibson from Braveheart, right? Freedom! I get to do what I want when I want. So everything is Tomorrowland. Tomorrow's not one of the 7 days of the week. And so we just always, it's later, later, later. Just reporting every day how many new invites you made. That's it. And no white lies, no pretending, attraction marketing. I was in the supermarket, I was flashing, my frequency. So people are going to reach out to me. It doesn't count as a new invite, right? It's got to be direct. But just doing that alone, I promise you that accountability will make all the difference. And I'm just trying to kick you guys in the butt in both cheeks, left and right cheek, because I love you, because I went through all these negative things. I got my butt kicked, and we're just trying to help you have success quicker.
Yeah, well, I can relate to that so much because I'm a fan of documentation beats conversation. And one of my mentors said, if you don't register, if you don't administrate what you're doing, then it's like you're getting in a car and you don't know where you want to go. So I started doing that. And not to scare you folks here on the call, but I give you some of my numbers. I talked in my 15-year career now to about, I'm not 100% sure, but somewhere between 35,000 and 40,000 people. I don't know if that's much or not, but that's what I did. And I signed up between 400 and 500 people myself personally out of that 35,000, 40,000 people. So I don't know if that's good or bad. It's an average of 2-3 people a month. I think that's okay. But if you tell that to people without background, they say, well, I'm not going to talk to 35,000 people and signing 500 up. That's a waste of energy. I say, yeah, but do you want to have the paycheck that I have? See, because it's about what you do with those people and how you duplicate that. That's what all network marketing is about. I know people that have signed up 500 people in 1 year. So then I look maybe bad, but what came out of those 500 people? That's what it's all about, right? Or 50 people or 5 people. It doesn't even, the number is not so significant, but it's about that you track and trace what you do. Otherwise, you don't know where you're going. And that brings me, Rob, you said that you became the #1 recruiter out of 1 million people in $1 billion company, right?
Yeah.
So you must have done something right. Can you give us three sets of goals or something? What did you do to get to that point?
Yeah, so I love how you gave your number. I remember when I started out, I reached out to, it was about 250 people my first 3 weeks in the business. And it felt like after that, I didn't know who to talk to. Those were most of the warm contacts in my phone. Of course, we know a lot more people, but our confidence isn't high enough to reach out to those people because maybe you haven't spoken to them in 4 years. They're not a close connection, right? Whatever the reasons are, my confidence wasn't high enough to go past that. And so my first month, I reached out to 250 people. It was about 33 that said yes of those. So it's not that they were high numbers, but I was a professional at inviting. I didn't want to become a professional at presenting at that time. I'm naturally an introvert. When I was 14 years old, my brother was 12. He was taller than me. That's not that bad, but my sister was 10 years old. She was taller than me. And now, you guys know I'm extremely tall now, but at that time, right, I was just like the soft-spoken. I wouldn't go to my friend's house without my brother, my younger brother. That's how timid I was. I only share that so you all understand that a lot of times we compare, right, our chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20, right? Christian, Carson, myself, Fraser, all of us at one point went through these massive fears. So I'm sharing the struggle with you so you understand that I had to go through a lot. And after that first month, I didn't reach out to anybody new. I just tried to manage everybody. And that's when my check went like this. Down, 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 to the point where I told you I made less than $400 for the month and I worked 80 hours a week. I mean, I could have gone to work at McDonald's making minimum wage and I would have been filthy rich compared to that. And so I share that because for me, I went through as many fears as anybody. And you can do this. And the 3 sets of goals that I used that really helped me out, that made a difference, was the first set of goals. And these sets of goals, every single successful leader does in their own variation, but they all do. Everyone goes on blitzes. I have never met a leader that has hit high ranks without going on blitzes. Now, what's a blitz? It's a time when you have all-out focus. And it's all-out focus on reaching out to brand new people, making those new invites. Now, there's different variations of blitzes. There could be a blitz where maybe you do a blitz every day for 25 minutes or 20 minutes, right? I'm just giving you ideas. Everyone's different. Maybe it's where you do it once a week and you pick a time. Maybe it's once a month where you go all out for 3 days. Maybe it's a combination of those things. Maybe it's every 90 days you got an all-out week where you just go bananas crazy. You're crushing the business, right? Again, it could be a combo of all those things. Everyone I've ever met that's had success finds times where they blitz. Let me teach you the importance of the blitz. I would rather have somebody rather than making one new invite every single day for 365 days, I would rather have somebody make 365 new invites in 1 week. Because guess what happens? You're going to have enough people that say yes, that energy, they're all going to feed off of each other. And I know that's an extreme example, but I'm doing that on purpose. You guys understand it makes a huge difference. And so you got to find little times and pockets to blitz. So you can do this in your personal life and in your business, but I'm challenging you right now because I want to give you things that you actually take away when you do. I want you to figure out when some of those blitzes are, at least a blitz for you, even if it's just sometime this week or during this month. You got to create that. The second set of goals, these are what I call the standards. The standards are what you hope to achieve on a daily or weekly basis. So a standard could be a weekly goal or a daily goal. So for new invites, I personally like to do weekly. For personal development, I like to do daily. So my blitz, I'll go out crazy where I'll listen to a ton of books and podcasts, but my standard is 1 hour every day I do personal development. Standard for you could be for new contacts or new invites. It's like on a standard week, you're doing 20. Make it your number, higher, lower, whatever you want. I'm just giving it as an example. And on a blitz, you're like, oh, I'm going to do 20 in 1 day, right? So you see the difference. You've got to create what you strive to do, whether it's on a weekly goal or a daily goal, because you have to have this. And then you go back to what I said, schedule it and create accountability. So now we come to the next aspect. This one right here, pay close attention to, because surprisingly, this is the most important one. All 3 work together. All 3 are important. All 3 are necessary and vital to crush your business. I'm giving you guys a blueprint right here. The question is are you going to follow it and do it? This one is key. Minimums. You're like, minimums? I thought it would be blitzes and standards. Yeah, those are important. You got to do those as well. The minimums are the non-negotiable on your worst week. When you just don't feel like it, you got no energy. What are you willing to do? The minimum is got to be low enough that you're going to do it on your worst week. It's the only way it works. Because what you're going to do is, this is important, pay attention here. You're going to create a win streak. And a win streak is going to change your entire identity. You're like, what do you mean by that? Let me give an example. So let's say that I've got my minimum of, on my worst week, when I don't feel like it, I'm making 3 new invites, no matter what, direct invites. And my standard week, I'm going to do 20. And then on a blitz week, I'm going to do like 50, something like, just an example here. Well, your minimum you have to do no matter what, because you committed to it. Do you think if we've got good old Sally, and Sally's gone 22 weeks of doing her minimum of 3 new invites no matter what, do you think she's missing week 23? No way! It's become a habit. You show me your habits, I'll show you your future. Our habits start to define us, and that's what creates a personal identity. So now no longer she even have to think about it. It's a non-negotiable. Because there are times to walk, times to sprint, times to jog, times to crawl in this business. But at the very least, you hit your minimums. Now you're always progressing. And the definition of happiness is progress. This is what brings hope and keeps our dreams alive. But think of it as a campfire. A campfire keeps you warm, and let's say it's cold outside. And the minimums keep you close enough to the campfire you're warm. But as soon as you unplug and you don't follow those minimums, look, I'm further away now from the campfire. All of a sudden it's really cold. I need my coat. All of a sudden now it's freezing. All of a sudden now I'm lost in the forest where I don't even know where the campfire is anymore. Next thing you know, you can't even remember your dreams. You've forgotten them. You're done. You're out of the business, right? So I'm telling you right now, create some win streaks. Create some minimums. Now, you can do this for all aspects of your life. You can do this for personal development. You can do it for many different things in your business. But I'm challenging you, as we're focusing on sponsoring and recruiting right now, I want you to create a non-negotiable that you make a promise and commitment to yourself and someone else that holds you accountable that you're going to do no matter what, that minimum, and create that win streak. Now, for me, I've done this in all aspects of my life. In the last 14 years, I haven't missed one day of personal development. In the last 14 years, I haven't missed 1 week, an entire week of working out. Now, are there days where my personal development isn't that good? Yeah, right? Those are the minimums. At least I hit it. Now, there are times when I go out blitz and go crazy. Absolutely. If you follow that formula right there, just follow it. Schedule it. Be held accountable for it as well. Spend 80% of your time on it. Minimum standard blitz. I'm telling you right there, that's the most simplistic way for me to explain just in that 1 minute there, that last 1 minute, of how I became the number one recruiter out of 1 million distributors. Easier said than done, but that's what I would highly suggest that all of you guys do. And I know, Christian, we discussed a lot of this in the mastermind in Dubai, which was a ton of fun with these high-level leaders, but it's absolutely key and critical, friends.
Yeah, I really, really love what you say about invitation, Rob. So I think that that's our business. So that makes our business easy and duplicatable. So I think at the beginning we said something about, okay, what kind of knowledge do you need? What kind of knowledge you have to be an expert? No, I don't think so. The only thing what you should be an expert in invitation. So that means to announce people, to announce speakers, to promote people. So this is what I have learned in this industry, and this is what what I was doing in this industry all the time, to promote people, to say, hey, wow, you have to come there. There's someone on the stage. This guy is amazing. So you have to listen to this guy. I think it makes recruiting as well very easy, because you take yourself a little bit back. Yeah, if you talk to someone who knows you very good, he knows or she knows your weak points, your strong points. Yeah, so if you promote another person, then the person has no idea about this person. I really like this. I really love this. And when you talk about recruiting and so on, I will never forget it. When I started in the industry, it was 2002, and I was 22, 23, something like that. And it was for a juice company from US, from Utah. Yeah. So I have not to talk about a company and not about a product and not about the fruit, but there was already a company here in Europe which was very, very successful with a plant. So I can say it. Aloe Vera was this company which was successful here, Forever Living. And the first thing what I have done, and I think that was the worst case what you can do. I was jumping to to the office, to the department where they have the products for Ever Living. Yeah. So, and I try to cold recruit people there with a magazine about this new company, about this new product, about this new bottle. I was there, I was talking to people, they came for picking up the products. 22, there were leaders there, and I said, guys, here, I have a new product. I want to talk to you about the business and so on. They were watching to me, hey, what the hell is going on here with you? After 15 minutes, the security was coming and said, hey, you have to leave here. But someone came to me, she was the top leader at this time in Europe, and she said, hey, my friend, that's fantastic what you're doing here with 22 or 23, but that's not the right way to recruit people in your business. But it was okay for me, and that was the hardest way to talk to people. It was not my warm market at this time. That was really cold recruiting. And when we talk about recruiting at the moment, I know that we have social media and all these things at the moment. And when we started in the business, I can say this, of course, for me, there was no Facebook, nothing, no Instagram, nothing. There are specialists right now for building business there. And we have later on Fraser as well, who's definitely a specialist for online marketing. But how you should build a business, or where should I start when I'm not so good on social media? And I think most of the people, they are not really good on social media. What is your idea? What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I'm so excited for all of you to hear from Fraser, because he's literally a social media wizard and legend. And to give you guys a little bit of my story on this, I think it pertains to it really well, is I actually built my business offline. So I built mine. I don't know why, Carson, maybe you can tell me, why do people say belly to belly? It's not like we really put our bellies, on each other and rub each other's bellies, but they would call it belly to belly, right? Where it's like person to person. And that's how I became the number one recruiter. And I had these limiting beliefs because I saw social media and I saw people doing it the wrong way. And I saw them spamming everybody, right? And being annoying. And maybe it was my own insecurities, but I just didn't want to be that person. So I built it. Even after I'd made 7 figures, there wasn't one post on social media pertaining to anything. Nothing at all. Not even like I'm excited because of my incentive trip. Nothing. Okay, so when I tell you guys I had some fears, right? Some issues I had to work through. I had issues I had to work through. So everything changed for me. And eventually, and I'll tell you why and what happened, but eventually I became known as one of the social media experts for network marketing. Eventually I built my business utilizing both the old school timeless principles as well as social media. And social media just enhanced the principles that are timeless. And this is what I did. This is what I'm going to challenge all of you to do. Is I made it, and this is only if you want to go next level. I made a commitment that I was going to start on one platform and I was going to post every day. Now, at this time, I was only posting once a month and I wasn't posting anything about anything. And as I made this commitment, guess what happened? I started getting better at posting. Just like when we make new invites, as we do it, we get better, right? I started getting better. I started paying attention to what other people were saying and why they were saying. I started thinking of things that I wanted to say, and I created my own notes. And I put them in there, a future post that I could have. And I started screenshotting the really good posts, and I put them in this separate folder so I could look at good examples. But the biggest thing is I got over myself, right? Because ego stands for everyone's got one. Your ego ain't your amigo. And too many of us, we're so worried what everyone else thinks. And I did it every single day. Now, guess what? I look back, memories pop up. I don't know if this happens. Does this happen to anyone else? Memories pop up. I'm like, oh, that was such a dumb post. Like, I can't even believe I thought that was a good post. That was so bad. That's embarrassing. You know what? I'm not embarrassed of it. It's really cool now for me to actually show people that I didn't start out very good. And I can share the journey now. And so for a lot of you, maybe you can't commit to every day. Maybe you can commit to every other day and then work your way up to every day. And your post probably won't be good when you start. but you got to start somewhere. And that one piece of advice changed my entire life when I just made a commitment. Because when I say I'm going to do something, I do it. That was a non-negotiable. When I committed to posting every single day, it really, really changed everything. Like I said, I became consciously aware. And then you're going to get into more of the details of what, and I'll let Fraser talk about that because he's so good at it. He's going to teach you a little, and that's kind of a preview for a little bit later, but he'll be teaching you some things on what to say and how to say it and different things and how to attract the right people. And that's where you can get more specific. But if you're overwhelmed, just start out with committing to post and be okay with sucking. Embrace the suck, because it's going to be a more powerful story later, because people will connect with you. People connect with vulnerability, as long as it's not victim vulnerability. You want to impress people? Share all your accolades and accomplishments. That's important too. But you want to connect with people? Share your struggles, like I've shared throughout, because I want you guys to realize that I've been where many of you are at right now. So that's the most simplistic way I can give it to for you guys, is simplify it, stop overthinking it, just post. You won't know what some days, that's okay, but it will help you to start being consciously aware and start thinking of things. And then you'll start creating a notepad where you start putting future posts in there, because you don't want to run out of content. And then eventually that notepad is going to be so full that you're going to have a couple months ready. It will take time, but it will happen.
Yeah, well, how can I relate to that? Because I do exactly as you say. I one time a month I sit down, I make my post, and then I got for 30 days, I got my post ready and go out with that. So that's what I do. Because people say, yeah, well, it takes so much time. Well, if you do it correctly and a little bit effective, it doesn't take so much time. But I guess Fraser will tell us a little bit more about that later. Also, what I love about what you say is the principles, and I learned that from Eric Worre. Network marketing will always be the same. It was 50 years the same as it is now, and it will be in 50 years the same. It's the techniques that change. We have social media, we didn't have that, and we have to learn to adapt that. When I started, there was radio ads and newspaper ads. Well, nobody's doing that anymore. And probably in 5 to 10 years from now, nobody will do a Facebook post anymore. What do I know? We have another set of medium that we work with. So that's really, really great. And it makes your business so much more scalable, because in my first company, for example, I was in 3 countries, the Netherlands, where I live, Germany, next to the Netherlands, and Belgium, because that is what I could drive. But now through all the social media, I'm in 40 plus countries, fly all over the world. And that's 100% due to social media. So some things you don't plan, I have a major structure in India. It was never my intentional goal to go to India, but now we have a major structure there. So that's what can happen if you take that up and start learning that. What is also a thing in network marketing in general, I think, is that people come in and they love the product because probably they were recruited over the product. They used it. It did something for them. We in Healy, we have an amazing product with the frequencies. We have the most amazing testimonials that you can find. But then sometimes, the business part is coming a little bit to the background. So because we are talking about the product and the product and the product. So Rob, can you give all the people on this call some tips how maybe if somebody comes in on the product, how we can transform that person to also the business side of network marketing, and how to go about on that?
Yeah, 100%. And I saw one question. You guys can find me, just my name, Rob Sperry, Sperry on Instagram. It's just my first and last name. Nothing else, super simple. And if you guys tag me or mention me on stories, I'll do my best to reply. But that's a really good question. I think you guys have a gold mine. You guys have one of the highest retention products in the profession. People love it. They become lifelong raving fans of it. But I think a lot of you are missing a gold mine. And your gold mine is your customers. Your customers, think about this. Let me shift the perspective. If your customers are loving the products that they have, they probably will share it with other people. And so one of the ways to convert someone from a customer to a business builder is, first off, we have to make sure that we understand their space and make them feel comfortable where they're at. We're not trying to force them, hard sell them, annoy them, make them feel uncomfortable if they don't transition into doing the business. So with that said, questions are the answers. So if I were to go to Christian or Carson, I would say, hey, so how are you liking the product? And actually, you know what? I wouldn't say that. Let me rewind. I would say, what's your favorite part about the products? Because now I'm being more specific. Not how are you liking, what's your favorite parts? Oh, well, I love this, or it makes me feel like this, or it makes me feel like that. Then I would follow with something like this. I've got a really simple way to help you get your products for free. Now, you got to figure out what's compliant, right? Because most companies is compliant, right? We're not making empty promises. I'm very clear on that with them. And they say, oh, really? You notice I didn't say business because for them, sometimes the word business can be overwhelming. And I said simple program for them. My wording is very key. And I tell them this because now they're like, oh, really? How? Yeah. If you've got a couple friends that are interested in the products, you like them anyways, then I'm more than happy to give you credit for it. And let's get it where you can have that go towards getting your product for free, or you can get a discount on your product, or if you'd like, right, because you can give them some of that back, or if you'd like, what I can do is I'd love to just have you have all the credit. And this is where now, right, they're building the businesses as a distributor, but sometimes we use words that are so big and overwhelming of, do you want to do this as a business? And they're associating businesses 30, 40 hours a week. Instead, I'm associating more as just referring a couple people that if you like the product anyways, you might as well tell them about it. And they start thinking, yeah. And then I let them know because, again, remember this, the best presentations handle the objections during the presentation. Don't worry, I can help answer any questions they have, and I'm not going to hard sell or hard close your friends. I'll be very conversational and very respectful and answer any questions they have. So you can introduce them to me, whether it's on whatever you guys are using for your system, whether it's a group chat, quick Zoom, 3-way call, your tools with your videos, right, that you guys have. And I keep it super simple, but this is another challenge for all of you guys. Start going through your customers. Start doing this. Start asking these questions because a lot of them, they've had such a good experience that why would you not want to tell other people? Do you tell other people when you go to a great restaurant, when you see a great movie? Of course you do. And next level is if they have a really good experience, this is next level. Maybe we'll cover more of this next time, or maybe this will be a question for Fraser, is you can actually start to get your customers to make posts on social media. Because if they love the product, right, it's got to be compliant. If they make a post about it and other people are interested, you tell them you're going to give them credit. And they're like, you mean I could just make a post and if people are interested and they end up buying, then I can get some credit for it? Absolutely. And you should, because you know what the product can do, you know how incredible it is. So I did this, and when I started doing this with consumers in a way that I respected them and I wasn't trying to force them to become business builders, I started creating these people that started doing this, and they started making a little bit of income, and I would stair step them. And then all of a sudden they're like, well, Rob, can I make more? Absolutely. And they started doing this with their customers. And then all of a sudden they went from, just getting their product for free to making $100 to $200 to $400 a month. And all of a sudden, without even realizing it, they're in the business and they're gun ho. And a couple of these people actually became top earners. But did you see how I simplified it so I wasn't overwhelming that person? And I think every single one of you can do that. Now, find your own words, your own language, what you would say, how you would say it. But a lot of you are leaving a lot of money on the table. And you're also not helping those people. Those people, they should be referring other people. Everyone should know about your products. So that's a simple way that I would do it that can help you guys out tremendously.
Yeah, thank you very much, Rob. And especially in our case here in Healy World, I think that's a fantastic way to grow your business, because we have, what I know, around 10% business builders and 90% we have customers. So the potential is so huge what we have, because they're so excited about a product. That means the first step is already done. So excitement about a product. The second step is only to talk about, okay, do you have maybe some friends which should see the product, which should feel the product, which should be as well excited about it? We show you a way how you can make 100, 200 euros with that on top. So an easy and simple way. The potential is here, and I think that's a good point for our next session, Rob, what we will have then on the 10th of May. I would like to say thank you very much for your time, my friend. It was amazing, and yeah, I think we see each other anyway very, very soon in Dubai, or yeah, maybe not in Dubai, maybe in US, but we will see each other definitely. Thank you very much, Rob, for your time. And
Hey, thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate you both. You guys are incredibly just amazing what you guys are doing for the profession. And I love that. I mean, think these guys are investing in all of you and taking their business to the next level and your business, which is pretty cool. And you guys are in for a real treat right now with Fraser. He is absolutely phenomenal, and you guys are going to have a ton of fun. So make sure you take some crazy notes. I think he's the best speaker in all of network marketing. So be ready.
thank you very much, Rob. And yeah, we jump over to Fraser. So, and I think now we will have so much energy, we will have so much power. And I met this yeah, fantastic guy the first time as well in Dubai through yeah, a friend, what we have together.